In a world where the marks think they know better than the wrestlers and the bookers, the Fantasy Booking Institute exists to pretty much do exactly that. This is a visit from the FBI. Welcome to another episode of the Wrestling Fantasy Booking Institute. I am your host, Detective Mark Smarts, and I'm joined, as always, by my partners in crime fighting. Starting off, District Attorney Vincent Kayfabe. What's going on, man? How are you?
The song messes me up because there's a tempo change in the middle of that.
It is. It's so weird.
It
starts out a little fast, and then it slows
down,
for
and
no
then
reason.
It's a gradual tempo increase. It goes from 120 down to 90, and then 96, and then 108, and then back.
Yeah,
by the end, you're back up to 120.
Blame Apple. It's got some sort of algorithm when I made that thing that it's like, oh, let's change the tempo on this shit.
Well, and maybe it's just to make it different from other people so that we can't get, yelled at. But that already happened.
Yeah, it happens. We
that
get
guy's
yelled
a tool.
at. But also joining us from up north, RCMP JLB. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, goes good. Not too shabby. I don't know. Same old on my end. Nothing.
Nice to see your face not right next to the camera like it was while we were talking before the show.
That's because we were talking before the show and I didn't give a shit how you looked at me. Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh, why is it the red light? Jesus. Hold on. It's gotta be Kane!
I was going to make a Bray Wyatt the Fiend Hell in a Cell joke there.
Yeah, this looks like... Oh, my gosh.
You in the cell?
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be
Roxanne,
another DQ.
you don't have to wear that red dress tonight, okay?
Roxanne!
So, you know a lot about prostitutes? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't actually.
Speaking of prostitutes...
Go ahead, DA Fabe. You gonna try to take up that offer?
I don't even know how to fantasy book that. Holy crap! Fantasy book your co-starring with Sunny. What the fuck? I mean,
do it.
props to everybody with a '90s fantasy.
Oh, but
That's crazy.
If you're new to this show, the Fantasy Booking Institute is pretty simple. We take turns challenging each other to book some unknown and often unlikely scenario in the world of professional wrestling. We don't discuss our challenges in advance because we think it's more fun to surprise people and catch them off guard. And sometimes that bites us in the ass, and sometimes it doesn't. But we continue to do it because we're sadists, apparently.
That's legit, Sonny.
I got a little bit too real right there. But,
Hi, Sonny.
Before we get into the fantasy booking, I like to take this time to remind everyone that Raw and Order is part of the Tatnus Co. podcast network. So if you want to, in the little doobly-doos down there is a link to tatnusco.com. You can click on that and head on over to tatnusco.com and see all the other shows in the network. Give them all a listen. Tell Tatnus we sent you. And then come back here to listen to more stuff in the future.
Yeah.
Also,
from the future, we're telling them stories
in the future. I said in the future. And
from the future was better. That'd be interesting.
And we're coming from the future.
Woo.
Marty, we have to get you back to 1985.
Boy, this show is off the rails already.
I can already tell you it's going to be a long show. Yep. Also, make sure to click that like button, which will be somewhere down there. The share button to send it to your friends, and make sure to subscribe if you're following us on the live stream. We are live streaming this right now on YouTube and Facebook, so you can go to our Raw and Order WBU Facebook page or our YouTube page and check us out there. You can leave us comments during the show and all that stuff. But if you're subscribed or follow us on the social media on the Facebook, you get notified as soon as we go live, so you don't miss a beat on this.
I
Otherwise,
was like, who the hell posted something? And I'm like, oh yeah, we're live.
yeah, we're live. It just lets us know. But that way you don't miss a beat on it and everything. And then you can join us in the comment section and let us know what you think about our fantasy booking. So that's a great thing. We still post them in audio format. So if you are old school like that and prefer the podcast, you'll still get that option there. But we'd love to see you guys come to the live stream as well. Plus, you get to look at our beautiful mugs. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if that's a selling point.
Future Sunny co-stars right here.
The two of you, not me. I'm
No,
married.
Yeah,
just,
you're married.
just D.A. Vincent Kayfabe, the only co-star. And it just works. The only co-star from Raw Note or WBU going to OnlyFans. And that's the only way we'd do it. We'd accept that offer. Only way. Yes, sir.
I would accept that offer under any uncertain circumstances. I can
Yeah.
I can think of her in the 90s.
Yeah, I
I can
think
have 90s
DFA's
fetish.
100% there one way or another. He's got to submit that application now.
I mean, can I get submit that application? Can I get maybe, I don't know, like an STD test from her first?
Yeah. I'm sure that will all be done. I think that's dude, as dirty as she probably is, I'm sure she would want you to get checked as well. So
Yes.
then you're good. I would do it, bud, and then you can go on to the podcast, and we'll have an exclusive of how Sunny was. It's not an actual porn video though, right? It's just kind of like some kind of shoot or something.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be porn.
I'm pretty sure it's on her OnlyFans, so
here's the other piece I'm gonna guess to this. I'm gonna guess that it's gonna have to be somebody more attractive than yours truly.
she's
And
looking for both guys and girls to
yeah,
co-star with her for some pics and videos.
yeah. So, are you reading it? Wow.
I'm on Ringside News.
Okay. Yeah.
What are the
what's
commenters?
her-
What are the commenters like? Wonder if the Hulkster is willing to drop the third leg.
That's a good one. Is her thing Lilo and Stitch? What's her OnlyFans? I wouldn't probably see anything anyways.
Yeah, it's
I'm
probably
sure you
locked.
can just look up Timmy and Stitch.
Is it like Lilo and Stitch though? Because I got like a Lilo and Stitch OnlyFans here, but no faces, so I am unaware. Not it.
Don't know.
Either
she
who.
announced it on her Twitter, so you could probably find her on Twitter
That's valid.
first.
Huh. You said Twitter.
But
All right, let's not advertise for her anymore.
it's under Tamara Sitch. With then in parentheses Sunny, because you might not
For
know
sure.
her.
Ooh, maybe maybe
She
that,
still has WWE, unless this is not hers. WWE Hall of Famer Sunny. Probably not her though. Don't think this is her.
For her Twitter.
Yeah.
It might be because she is legitimately a WWE Hall of Famer. And so being in the Hall of Fame does allow you to say you're in the Hall of Fame. She charges $27 a month for her.
And no. It says for 31 days though.
31 days. You get that extra day.
That is crazy.
that's only in January, March, May,
October.
July.
February,
August.
you get screwed.
Yeah, February definitely.
Which I guess
gets
is fair because she's getting.
Wow, OnlyFans really gives you no freebies. Look at that go.
By default, the creator on OnlyFans apparently gets to decide what is members only and whatnot.
Boy. I'm the one
Bro,
supposed to be trying to do this. One of you's reading the Twitter page, the other one's reading the OnlyFans page.
Bro,
I'm sitting
she's
here
getting-
I'm being a wingman. I'm trying to get you in. I'm trying to figure out.
She's getting better with age, and she loves puppies. How 90s can you get?
Somewhere Jerry the King Lawler is going, puppies!
Oh my God, Jerry the King Lawler is going to do that with her.
I would pay not to see that. So,
All I'm saying,
but on that note, let's get into
HBK, if you're looking for some more sunny days, because I got yelled at for making the Brett joke earlier.
Damn right you did. Bret Hart had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, Bret Hart, come to his aid, JLB. Bret Hart needs someone on his side, apparently.
Damn Skippy. Who better than JLB?
I keep drinking my cup like this because I'm hoping Raising Cane sponsors us someday.
Maybe Natty can do it for him.
Who knows?
Oh,
She's not
she's
going to have
randomly
a
in the Money in
program
the
on.
Bank.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because she suddenly doesn't have a program to work on TV anymore since they took Mandy Rose and fucked her off down to NXT
Why is
in the
she
middle
on
of a feud.
So dumb.
Yeah, that really didn't make any sense at all.
Because they
It's
know
like,
no one would want to see Dana Brooke down in NXT.
No. Just, I mean, she could do both, I guess. But it looks like she's going to take some sort of like leader role. Because I feel like she said something backstage in one of the NXT segments, and it was kind of like things are going to change around here or something like that.
Anyways, we will get into the fantasy booking since that's what you guys clicked on this for.
Yep.
So, I always open up the fantasy booking challenges to everyone else first to see if they want to go first or if they want me to go first. So, any takers?
I'm going to be a dick. I'll go first.
Okay. Well, getting practice in for the Sunny. I get it. Be a dick.
So we're obviously very, 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 very blessed that Sunny's good. No, I'm not going to do anything with Sunny. That's horrible. That's so horrible. Fantasy book your fantasy with Sunny. No.
Fantasy book DA Fabe's video with
Chris Candido returning to Sunny. Anyway.
So
Wow.
first off, we start with a wide shot to establish, and then we're going to move into some close-ups. And
Stop.
Hold on.
Stop,
It's
stop,
got to
stop.
start. It's got to start with the Cactus Jack Chris Candido monologue speech that he did, where he rhymed Candido with Cheetos. It was like a what do you call it? It was at SMW, Southern Championship Wrestling or something. So it was the most hilarious monologue.
Because it's going to be a wide shot, but then you see that Sunny is trying to get something out of her dryer.
Oh, hi, step wrestler.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm stuck
What are
in
you
the
doing?
dryer, step wrestler.
Oh,
Give me 1
my
second.
gosh. Whoa. Well, at least you turned your camera off.
Yeah. Give me
Ooh,
one
I should
second.
do the challenge. Okay. So we all know that like everybody in wrestling is having babies. Babies are having babies, and wrestlers are having babies, and everybody's having babies, right?
Okay.
I want you to book the third generation two wrestlers baby push 15 years from now.
15
what are we
years
doing?
from now? Oh, shit. That's going to make them really young if we use any of the current wrestlers, so we got to use...
20 years, 25. I don't care. Take your time frame. Book how they get to push. That's what you do.
Well,
Do the parents, is it like Dominic where the parents come in and help push? Is it natural for a wrestler, like a particular wrestler's kid? You know, Seth and Becky's kid. Is that Is that a natural move, or Cody and Brandy's kid,
Okay,
daughter?
you can quit giving examples because you're going to get through all of the kids right now if you keep doing it.
Well,
I'm going to go
you're gonna
ahead.
pick whatever kid you want.
Yes, I am going to go ahead and. Well, there's not that many kids right now, so that's why I'm saying quit throwing out examples, man. I'm going to go ahead.
Ironically,
You can also make your own kid. Like,
Okay. The kids are already made for what works for me.
okay,
Because the feud has been written already, right? Because you've got Cody, who's the golden child of AEW, who's executive vice president Cody, who everyone thinks books himself to win matches and all of that stuff. And then you've got currently the rebel character in AEW, John Moxley, both of whom happen to have kids literally within weeks of each other, right? Both of them daughters, right? So in 20 years, let's say, both of them are going to be basically the same age and come from wrestling lineages. So the storyline already writes itself. You've got Cody's daughter as the princess, as the Stephanie McMahon in AEW, because of course AEW is going to still exist in 20 years. Don't at me. And then you've got the rebel who shows up at Double or Nothing 2041 in the middle of the main event match, and will DDT Cody's daughter, Liberty, right on top of the big stack of playing chips on the set, and declare her the new number one contender for the championship. And then there's going to be, of course, a feud back and forth between them because you came into my daddy's promotion. And then we've got an authority figure in Princess Liberty versus... I actually don't know what John Moxley's daughter's name is, so...
stage name, Jonna.
Yeah, I'm going to say Jane Moxley.
That works.
Or,
Jane Moxley Paquette.
nah, she's going to go just by Mox. Maria Moxley? I don't know. But so that there's a feud that could last a couple pay-per-views right there. And talk about long-term booking. They've already started it. So, you know, the feud 20 years in the making. So that's my booking.
Sorry, I'm having my supper, so go on. All right. Did
fair.
you hear the challenge, JLB?
I did.
Okay.
Make 2 kids that have just been born, or I can make my own kid and have them either do something in the wrestling business 20 years from now. Immediately,
You
what
can
I
go
thought...
longer. It can be 25 years. It can be 30 years if you want to use, Trips' kids and Seth and Becky's kid. Whatever.
That's fair. So what I was actually going to do is I was thinking of the female Shield. We have Moxley's kid, daughter with Seth's daughter, come in to WWE. She doesn't go the AEW route. She, in fact, goes to the WWE. 20 years from now, Vince has a heart, or Triple H took over, and Triple H has a heart and would really like to right their wrongs for what they did to Moxley, and they are going to be giving him like the female Shield. Roman's kids, I don't know if Roman has any daughters, but I feel like they'll be older though, obviously. So might as well bring one of Roman's daughters into it, and she'll definitely be the leader. Meanwhile, you have Rebel Locks Mox. What's her name's going to be? Rebel Locks Mox there. And then Seth Rollins will be the Manette. I don't know. Rue. Her name's Rue. So yeah, I think that would be fun. You would have like a female Shield down the line, and kind of like what they did almost with Evolution, but it being all second generation superstars. I guess aside from Roman, because that's just generation.
FYI, John Moxley's daughter's name is Nora. I had to look it
Oh,
up.
snap.
So.
Nora. All right. That's fair. That's all right. Interesting. So yeah.
So for one of you, it's Nora Moxley, and for the other one, it's Nora Ambrose. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Female Shield would be
an
dope. That would make sense.
FYI, Roman Reigns does have at least one daughter, but that was back in 2008, so she's like 13 now, so she'd be a little older. But he did have a set of twins in 2020, and the Wikipedia page does not state genders on them, so I don't know.
Bastards. Okay.
They're
That's
gender
fair, but yeah.
neutral.
I think that's the only way you can
Non-binary.
get a female Shield going on, though, because 20 years from now, you definitely know they're going to rehash a Shield thing. It's going to be more than enough, maybe even before 20 years. But yeah, I think that would be the perfect way to do it. If any of the wrestlers' daughters do get into the business, you have the female version of the Shield, and I'm all for it. That would be a fun time. And you essentially build them the same way.
I'm astonished neither of you went with a New Blood hostile takeover, taking the company away from Trips' kids / Dominic Mysterio's faction. Because they'd be in their mid-30s. Dominic, hell, he'd be like 43, 42.
Yeah, damn.
New Blood hostile takeover. Dominic's been world champion 6 times by this point.
Sorry.
Why would I fantasy book this ever? No. Dominic is not going to be in my WWE in the next 5 years.
Gotta wash that down with some of my Raisin Canes.
Hashtag still not sponsored. It was easy, but it was fun. I didn't want to make you guys have to think about the current situation. Just build for the future, fellas. Build for the future. Ryback's daughter comes in and pitches new Shield to WWE.
I think I need some more to talk.
Well, Ryback. It was Ryback's idea to come up with the Shield.
It was.
Was it? Oh wow!
Yeah,
really.
We don't need him involved in the second one. Vince knows how to milk a dead horse, and at this rate, Vince is still going to be around in 20 years. Probably.
I can't wait for Brooke Hogan's NWO.
It's gonna be Bully Ray's son.
I could definitely see it.
Well played. Holy shit.
Okay.
Aces and eights meets up with Immortal, has a baby. Good Lord.
Okay. So JLB, you want to go next? You want me to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
So, guys, there is rumors that there is going to be a big star, more bigger than Andrade and or Aleister Black, coming to AEW. Now, I would like you to book this new star. However, I would like you to book this new star coming from a current promotion that they're actually in. I don't want to hear no CM Punks. I don't want to hear no Daniel Bryans. I want to see like an invasion type of style. One book's WWE, one book's Impact.
I got Impact.
Okay, you go ahead and do Impact while I debate on WWE because
it's Moose. I'm done. That's the whole thing. It's Moose, draped in gold, Moose comes
That's
in.
what-
He beat Moose. So I'll book the whole story. So Sami Callihan loses to Kenny Omega. Moose continues to work with Impact to try and build the Impact brand, and gets his next title shot. Scott D'Amore awards him a title shot, and it's in a steel cage or something where there can't be interference, and so Moose gets the win this time. And Moose turns around and attacks Kenny Omega in his match with Hangman Page, and so it causes Hangman to get the win, but Hangman's pissed off. So now there's a number one contenders match between Moose and Hangman, and Moose gets the AEW title. So Moose starts being the one who's draped in gold. It's Moose.
Nice. It's Moose.
It's Moose.
That's-
It's Moose. Let me say it in Moose's voice. It's Moose.
Yep, that's well done.
Sorry.
Okay, well, I suppose that leaves me, but I'm still kind of debating in terms of since I'm stuck with WWE now.
Well, speak faster, fool.
Because I wasn't gonna go WWE.
Who were you going to go with in AEW? We'll do both of them. I can do WWE too.
Yeah, I was gonna do coming from New Japan, Kazuchika Okada.
He didn't say New Japan. He said WWE or AEW.
That's my
Or,
point.
Impact.
That's my point. He said coming from a current promotion, and I was going to go that, and then he said one of you takes Impact and one of you takes WWE, and I wasn't going to do either of those. So then when he made that change in things, now I've got to go back to the drawing board and decide. Because frankly, right now in WWE,
That's why I wanted originally WWE, but then I'm like, okay, I'll give someone else another brand.
I don't know who currently in WWE would be bigger than Andrade, really.
Seth.
Seth maybe. That was kind of one of the first that went through my head. I guess if you hit like if you really want to do the bigger than and play it off that way, then you say it's Bobby Lashley wearing the WWE title belt, showing up on AEW TV.
You hear that?
But in terms of like, here's what it comes down to. In terms of current WWE stars that fit in AEW, and that's where it really comes down to, is that fit. Like
But
Roman
that's
Reigns.
it, though.
Roman
AEW's
Reigns
not
doesn't-
going to take Lashley.
Yeah, AEW's not going to
I
take
don't think they
Lashley.
would.
They're probably not going to take like a Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns doesn't fit their style. Even Drew McIntyre, who spent time on the Indies and really honed it, he's very much a WWE product in terms of the way he presents himself, the way he wrestles, all of that stuff. So it's tough. That's why Daniel Bryan's the top of most people's speculation on this. Is
Grand Metalik.
yeah. Too bad they cut Sin Cara. It was totally going to be him. Coming from current WWE, I'm going to have to go with Seth. Seth is the only one that I think can wrestle. I mean, that's bigger than Andrade. That's the big thing. I mean, there's enough people in AEW that could wrestle.
You don't
or
think
WWE.
Cesaro's bigger than Andrade?
I would say Cesaro was bigger than Andrade.
Or Kofi?
Kofi
snap.
maybe, but Kofi I don't think fits an AEW style.
What?
He is such a product of the WWE. His whole presentation, his whole ring style, and all of that stuff. He is such a product of that, and that's where I have a thing with. But Seth, having come from the Indies, and
That's how I feel about that.
oh,
You're wrong.
Well, you can book Kofi in AEW all you want. To me, Kofi's whole in-ring presentation is it's why Matt Cardona didn't really stick with AEW. It's because his ring style and all that is so WWE. And that's why Seth, having come from outside WWE first, fits. That's why an Aleister Black can work so well, because they cut their teeth outside WWE.
All right.
And that's why, Cesaro theoretically could. Aside from, and I'm choosing my words carefully here, aside from Internet Wrestling marks, Cesaro doesn't have that bigger than Andrade. The Internet Wrestling marks, like me and you, all think he's fucking phenomenal, right? But when you talk about bigger than Andrade brought something to AEW, and I think it's easy for three white guys like us to underestimate this. But Andrade brought something to AEW that none of their previous major acquisitions did, and that's a Latino market. Andrade is...
So just forget about Santana and Ortiz. Jesus.
They brought some, but Santana and Ortiz coming from Impact is not Andrade's level. Andrade in Mexico was one of the top. Like, there's Rey Mysterio and Andrade. You know what I mean?
Well, no, there was another guy. He now wrestles in the PWL, Prison Wrestling League.
Yeah, he's out right now. But yeah, I mean, Andrade flat out said in an interview this week,
and the Lucha Brothers, like, whoa,
they're fairly up there as well. So I'll get that. But my point is Andrade brought in not just the Latino audience, but WWE. So that's where it's a mesh. Right, Santana and Ortiz brought in Latinos. Lucha Brothers brought in Latino, but Andrade brought in both Latinos and WWE fans. He brought in all of this, and that's where Cesaro doesn't bring that. Cesaro brings WWE fans, but doesn't bring another large group. Seth Rollins brings in more WWE fans because he's more popular. But he and the independent wrestling fans and all that. So he's like the next best. Ricochet would fit in AEW very well. I really hope to see it someday in AEW. But he doesn't bring more than Andrade, and that's why it's tough. That's why Daniel Bryan is the one that comes, is because Daniel Bryan is more than WWE. He is effectively a wrestling legend, right? His time on the indies is spoken about in hushed tones by people to this day. I still have my tape of the Daniel Bryan versus whatever match from 2008. You know what I mean? And so that's why he's the number one. So I'm limited to current WWE active wrestlers, it's going to be Seth. He's the best option out of them. So he's the one who comes over to AEW and shows up. He's not gonna come over wearing a belt. It's gonna be one of those surprise things. Now, the real thing would be if he brought his wife over as well. If it was Seth and Becky showing up in one shot, that would be just internet wrestling community explodes.
Well, and in all fairness, we did kind of shit on women there, because at the end of the day, in my division, Deonna Purrazzo is probably as big as Andrade and bigger for women's wrestling. And Becky is bigger than Andrade and Aleister Black.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe so bigger than Seth.
I would say so.
Sasha
might too, yeah.
Though Smarks will tell me that Charlotte doesn't fit the mold. She's the bigger. She's the bigger piece of that couple.
100% fits the mold of bigger than Andrade.
Yes,
she just doesn't fit the mold of AEW wrestler.
Yes. Yeah. Now, if she went over, I mean, then she's with her husband, so that's a plus.
That, I mean, she kind of fits the mold. That's pretty much Britt Baker, right?
It's about in-ring style. Charlotte Flair is 100% a WWE product.
Yeah, and if we don't piss all over NXT at the same time. Adam Cole pulls this off. I don't think Kyle O'Reilly does, but Adam Cole does.
Kyle O'Reilly doesn't because he's not bigger than Andrade.
Yeah, that's why I say that. Adam Cole is. Gargano is. Killer Cross.
If it was Gargano and LeRae at the same time, it would be another one of those internet wrestling minds-blowing moments. But
Killer Cross maybe. Samoa Joe would be. But
Mojo.
You're right. For main roster WWE, the strongest single male for that pull across would be Seth.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and like I say, if AEW were to get Roman Reigns out of all this stuff and have him show up, it would be a massive explosion on the internet wrestling community. They would be like, Roman Reigns on something other than. But I don't think, and we've said before, I think Roman Reigns gets a bad rep amongst wrestling fans. He puts on decent performances. He knows how to get heat or pop from the crowd. The crowd legitimately likes him. All that stuff. The internet wrestling community likes to dog on him, but he legitimately gets pop and gets the reaction that he wants. And if he showed up in AEW, it would be a huge get. But his wrestling style is not the style of AEW. It's very much a WWE style. So that's why Seth is the best option. If I hadn't been limited to current roster, it would have been a perfect time for me to bring in our special guest star, Hugh Consimi.
Hey,
You can't see me. Jeez.
So
creative.
just hanging out. Hugh, how's it going, Hugh? Apparently, we can't hear him either. So,
I was too busy playing Chainsaw Charlie today, so I didn't actually get to bring a special guest. So I guess my chainsaw technically would be the special guest.
Well, we'll check back in with Hugh later. See you later, Hugh.
Hugh can't see me. You actually bought a John Cena doll?
I've had one for a while.
Action figure. Sorry.
I've had it for a while. It was from Five Below.
Well, at least it's under $5, so.
Yes. And it came with a little U.S. Championship belt on his.
Which is pretty cool. That's probably what the $5
I've also got it's from the same set that had the Macho Man that I used, and I've got a Sting and a Finn Balor from that set too. So, anywho.
Okay.
Well, I think that brings us to the end of JLB's challenges.
Yeah, we did two really simple ones. We're 40 minutes in, with half of it being talking about Sonny's porn stuff. You better have a more complex one, bud.
Well, I don't know if more complex is the better word or the right word for this, but it is at least something a little bit more
harder to book.
More longer term. Let's use that phrase for it.
Then 25 years?
Because for you, we just had to skip 20 years and then book what happened then.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. That's true.
This is here's the deal. On AEW, they 100% confirmed last week that Hangman Page is going to be Omega's next challenger for the belt. It'll likely happen. I would say likely at All Out in, was it 2 months, month and a half in Chicago. If they can keep the build up that long, which they've kept it up for over a year now anyway, so I think they can. So I'm going on the assumption, because I've said before, and I'll say it again, if anyone beats Kenny Omega for the belt, it's going to be Hangman Page. This is the star-making turn for that. So I'm going on the assumption that Hangman Page wins that match. I want you guys to book Hangman Page's first post-Omega feud for the belt. He is now the whole belt holder, the title holder.
You go.
Who does Hangman Page feud with post-Omega? Now, again,
this is going to be some shit Orange Cassidy crap. I can feel it.
Well, in the end, the one thing you have to, I'm sure they're going to give Kenny Omega a rematch. So so
Right.
All Out's going to come. There's going to be the match. Hangman Page is going to win. Then we're going to have at least a few months of, Kenny Omega wanting a rematch and then getting his rematch. And so we're talking end of the year, maybe even early next year for the actual feud to happen. So this does open up options for new signees if you want to. But who would you book as the next challenger, as the first major challenger for the AEW Championship held by Hangman Page?
Well, so the problem with Hangman Page is I feel like I don't remember any of his feuds aside from the Kenny Omega one. Really, that was relatively big. He hasn't really done much, I feel. He's just kind of had matches, but he's never had storylines. So am I
mean,
correct with that, really? I don't think so.
Chris Jericho for the title.
yeah. In fairness, his storyline over the last year
Is that he hasn't been confident and whatever. Yeah.
is that his confidence has been broken, and he's been trying to build himself up again to challenging Kenny Omega for the belt. And so, yeah, he hasn't had feuds in the meantime because the storyline has been continuing in the background.
Right. Okay. So, approximately about 8 months down the line, then, I think maybe this is where I don't want to bring anyone new in because I feel like I wouldn't know who necessarily to bring. But I think I'm gonna have to go with MJF. I think this is the time where it's going to be more than enough time for the not the inner circle, but what are they called? MJF's group?
The Pinnacle.
The Pinnacle, that's it. So the Pinnacle to kind of disband, and I feel like MJF and Sammy are going to have a thing. Jericho's going to get out of the picture, and Sammy and MJF are going to have a thing. And after all this is over, I feel like MJF is going to be somewhat reigning supreme. But both stables are going to MJF stable might still be around, but I feel like this is going to be kind of his time to shine. Just because, it's going to be good promo time. Hangman and Jericho were fun. Jericho knew how to sell the hell out of that whole build-up, obviously, with his great promo skills. And they're both great in the ring. So I feel like that might be a fun match between MJF and Hangman. So you kind of just legit, after Kenny loses for the second time, MJF comes with his Pinnacle and surround the ring. MJF goes in and does his little cocky smirk and points at that title and basically does his whole spiel, his little monologue. Listen, you had no confidence for the last year, but while I have been confidently building up this group that I have called the Pinnacle. Why should you may have beaten the best, but you also haven't seen the best at its best, and that is me, and I'm better than you, and you know it, and yada, 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 yada. He'll definitely have some more.
Oh, God, I hope he says yada, yada, yada.
Right? Great.
Yada 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 yada
Yada, 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 yada. And I think that would be a fun build, and I think it's enough time. It's enough time to kind of give MJF his little singles push to the world title picture. It's kind of weird, though. I feel like MJF has to be. How long are we going to wait for an MJF title reign? Another 2-3 years? Like, no, I think it's more than enough time. He's certainly proved that he can go. He's had several memorable matches. Not all of them were great, but there's definitely been some really decent ones. So I think that might be a fun time. And obviously Hangman is, of course, still face, although the Dark Order is face now. It's their face.
They're a face group. Ever since Brody's death, they've been treated as face.
Yeah, I was originally going to say Christian, but I feel like they'll never bring Christian into a title picture shot. Just because I was trying to think of a way how that was going to manipulate with Christian going against Matt, and then Matt had issues with Hangman. Did Matt have issues with Hangman?
Yeah,
no, I think a few. Right, with the whole signing the paper to be part of his crew and all that. So I was trying to build a story with that, but ultimately I don't think they'll ever put Christian in a title shot picture, at least not for a while. I feel like they'll get a whole lot of slack for that, but I think to promote your new generation, MJF versus Hangman Page is your ultimate go-to, and I see them going through shit ton of battles, and you're going to have the Pinnacle versus Dark Order. That's going to be nuts, and that should be a good time. So that's what I would go with.
I think that's a third feud.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't do MJF as the first feud.
Yeah, because I guess it's gonna last a while though, is the thing, right?
Well, me personally, the first post Omega feud has to be something that also continues to elevate Hangman, right? And that's why it's tough to put MJF in that, because in the end, you're elevating one and potentially harming the other. Potentially, not necessarily, but potentially. And that's why I would probably put his first feud, me personally, with someone like Pac. Someone who can pull out some banger matches.
Or Pac.
But
that would be fun,
at the same point, is established enough that can afford to lose the feud without something major. But let's see what D.A. Vincent Kayfabe has to say about it.
Well, I wasn't going to go with Pac.
Good. I didn't steal your
I'm not going to fuck that over. Thanks.
You're welcome.
No, I'm thinking that there's a particular wrestler in a great feud right now, or a developing feud that's been developing for about 6 months, who should be coming to the end of that feud about the time that happens. And so I think Miro's dominance over Kip Sabian should be showing up there, and then that would show us a powerhouse versus Hangman, where his athleticism is the reason he wins instead of grit. Because at the end of the day, the way he wins over Kenny Omega's got to be grit. It's just got to be sheer heart, which is going to make us love him that much more. It's did I freeze on your end too, guys?
No, you're still moving for us.
Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can get this to come back. Anyway, I think that Miro's the right move here, and the reason I think Miro's the right move is he's a pure powerhouse. He's right now recognized as the strongest powerhouse. Doesn't mean he actually is the strongest powerhouse. It might be Brian Cage. It could be any number of people, but he's the one with a title on, and so he can have his feud with Kip Sabian. He can lose the title to Kip Sabian. Kip Sabian can then lose the title to somebody else, or Miro can lose the title, but get a number one contenders spot from, say, the Battle Royal or something. But I think at this juncture, AEW needs to build feuds out of those. And so, hold on one second. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having tech issues. See if I can bring this back. Bring it back, y'all. Bring it back, y'all. Here we go. There it is. All right. So, that's what I would like to see happen is, number one, let's make these randomly won title shots like Jungle Boy, like Brian Cage against Moxley, that ladder match battle royal or whatever. Let's make it mean something. Let's have these be long-term feuds instead of just little short stints between actual feuds. And I think Miro's a good play there to do that with, especially after he just lost the TNT title to Kip Sabian. I think that's a really and Kip Sabian can take it off of him in a schmoz because they're both heels, and I don't think Kip Sabian comes back as a face. I think Kip Sabian comes back as still Kip Sabian. And so him and Penelope Ford, you can have heel versus heel. We've talked about this numerous times in the past, Marks, that we like the idea of heel versus heel. Bad guys don't have to be friends with bad guys. Good guys don't have to be friends with good guys. They just have to be nice to good guys. And bad guys don't have to be friends with bad guys. They just have to be bad guys. And so I think that you can do that and still have Miro be a heel and get his title shot and build towards that. You can have him come out with the big chip and hit Hangman with it. Hangman can have a couple other matches, tag matches and whatnot, that are non-title matches before they're built. I also think Miro's a good one to do a short-lived take the title off of him and make Hangman the first two-time champion. I'm really a big fan of the title moving more than it does with AEW, even with longer-term feuds. So, I think Miro, and I think it kind of buries WWE at the same time, as he was a huge star there.
Yeah, I think, kind of like you said, I think MJF is a third at best feud for Hangman.
I think that's where you want it to move back and forth. Actually, if I'm honest,
but
yeah,
but for me,
like that's what I mean. That's gonna last you the whole year almost.
Yeah, I want multiple title exchanges with those two.
Yeah,
I don't really
fine.
want it with Miro.
That's why I don't think he can be the first feud. Because I think the first feud has to be about establishing Hangman as the champion. Right.
I think you beating Kenny already does that, because you're gonna face him again, then he's gonna beat Kenny, and then quite frankly, then what? You make him face John Moxley? Like you can't.
I'm gonna say it this way. To use a football reference, there were lots of teams that beat the Patriots during the regular season, but the Patriots still won the Super Bowl and still have the dynasty out of it, and that's what it comes down to is. You can be a champion and have found a way to beat one guy. Establishing yourself as a champion is about beating multiple guys. And so, I mean, a short list of people that I think Hangman Page should beat before he faces off with a feud and potentially loses to an MJF. We're talking like Brian Cage, so have it be power kind of similar to what with Miro, what DFA was saying. I think
Darby
wouldn't be bad.
Darby is heart versus heart, and that's a really fun, like an Iron Man match, maybe.
Nice.
Something like that. And you could make it the longest Iron Man match of all time. You could have it be over 2 hours. Those two have the energy to do it.
Someone like Eddie Kingston would be a good short feud. Eddie Kingston, the constant underdog, the constant, professional who never really got a shake, coming after it. Another big guy, Jake Hager with a heel turn, because currently the Inner Circle are basically faces, but having him go after the belt wouldn't be bad for a short-term feud.
I think Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy has to win it though.
No,
Yeah,
Jungle Boy's a face versus face.
Face versus
He's the
face.
he's the longer term version of Hangman Page. He's 3 years out from being the next Hangman Page.
He's 3 years and about 30 pounds of muscle out.
Yeah.
And so, Lance Archer, a big powerhouse Lance Archer, come in.
Yeah.
Have a short feud with Hangman Page where he loses.
That might be kind of good, actually.
Someone like Wardlow, who's already a big powerhouse heel. He's going to be a big star in the future. Having him with a big short feud with him would be something good. And then right now, two of the biggest heels on the AEW roster right now, one of them's feuding with Darby, is Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Right, Scorpio Sky as a shot at it. I don't think you put Ethan Page in it because I think we still have to establish Ethan Page with AEW fans a little bit more. But Scorpio Sky is very well established, and to have the plucky babyface champion be able to eke out a win over heel Scorpio Sky would be a good.
And Scorpio Sky's already been built from the Jericho feud. That was great. My God, that was a great feud. I think there's something else you're missing is that when you said not Christian, Christian's literal gimmick is outwork everyone.
Yeah.
Have Hangman outwork him.
Yeah. I was going to get to that. I 100% think Christian is going to have not just one but multiple matches for the championship. But he's not going to win them because his role, I think he understands his role in AEW is about building new stars. Right. That's why you can't.
That's why I'm saying also with his thing, outwork everyone. That's going to just be ruined as well.
Not really. Not if it's for the title.
Yeah.
I outworked everybody to get to this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I lost.
That's fair.
And then, because here's the outwork everybody does not mean I win all my matches, right? That's boring, right?
Right.
And so he's still gonna lose. The whole point of outwork everyone is to put in the work, and you may lose, but you get up the next day and you go back at it.
Do it again. You got grit.
Do it again. You got grit, and so that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna work up, but that's why the baby face matches: Hangman Page versus Jungle Boy, Hangman Page versus Christian Cage, Hangman Page versus
Darby.
They all have the option of ending with the show of respect, the handshake, the hug, the raising the guy's hand. At
Hangman Page versus John Silver randomly gets a title shot in a match.
Well, and there's a storyline already built there.
Says, "Oh my God, I'm so happy that I get to face one of my friends." Mm-hmm. And at the end, it doesn't have to end in the schmoz loss of friendship that it always ends in WWE. It can just end in, man, it was a pleasure. Thank you for giving me that title shot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's the deal. In fact, a lot of the Dark Order, that can be the thing is with the Dark Order playing such a pivotal role in Hangman getting this shot, Hangman can reward them with shots at the belt. Say, you're some of my best friend. You've been with me at the end. I want to give you a shot at this belt. Just so you know, I'm not going to hold back. Right, because I'm the champion. I'm going to defend this with every ounce of my being, but I want you to have a shot. And John Silver takes a shot, and
Colt Cabana
takes a shot. Colt Cabana takes a shot. You could have those mini feuds there with that.
And I think those are really good small feuds. They aren't feuds. They're Dark Order members come out and we're gonna root for this guy. We're gonna root for this guy. Mm-hmm. When somebody gets thrown out of the ring, they help him up. Hey, are you okay? Lumberjack, nice. Mm-hmm. Like that's never been done before. How cool would that be?
And then at the end, they end with the loser holding up Hangman Page's arm and pointing to him, saying he's still the champ, and they hug and they go off, they drink some brewskis together, and they go off into the sunset.
Holy shit. What? Sportsmanship? No.
Mm-hmm.
They would really throw a wrench in professional wrestling by having a little bit of sportsmanship for a short while. You don't have to have it all the time. Hangman can give somebody a nut shot if he needs to or whatever in a different match. Just not one of his own teammates.
Right.
I'm sorry, did I say nut shot? I meant buckshot.
Right. You definitely said nuts.
Yeah, that too.
So-
Nutshot. You're just hung up on Sable. You,
Sonny.
You're still-
Oh, that is one. If Rena Mero had one, I would not. Mm-mm.
no three
Nope.
mobs.
There's a
out.
murderer that's married to her, and I do not want to be a part of that.
Speaking of which, have you seen the pictures that have come out of
Or Rena Lesnar, I guess I should say.
of Brock Lesnar?
Holding a
Helping
big
out.
piece of meat.
Yeah, helping out at a butcher shop.
Uh-uh.
He still looked like Brock Lesnar. I saw some headline that was like, Brock Lesnar is unrecognizable. Like, no, you still fucking looks like Brock Lesnar. He's like
Yeah, that's it.
400 pounds of beef, but but he's got his hair and long in a ponytail at the back.
Oh, really?
And he's like I said, he's still fucking Brock Lesnar. You can tell he's not skipping arm day.
Right.
And he's literally manhandling that meat. But
God, you're turning me on again.
yeah, he doesn't look like Brock Lesnar in the fact that we're so used to Brock Lesnar with the high top, flat top cut and
Yeah.
all of that. And
Yeah, but yeah, please don't ever. Nope. Rena Lesnar is doing Born. I'm not watching Brock because I don't want you to kill me. Nope. Nope.
must have temporarily lost JLB for a second there.
There he is. He's back. Guess who's back? Back
Good. JLB is back. What I was gonna do actually is I was gonna share my screen so we can just show the people.
Yeah, put him up. Put him up. Put him up.
He's got
Did
a
I
little
share the
goatee,
screen yet?
too.
Is my screen shared or not? I'm on a different screen
It
now.
is
You got
No,
to.
not showing a screen for me.
And the one who would have the control over that would be,
Is it showing a screen yet? What the fuck?
Smarks. I don't know.
Chrome is
If
less-
Smarks would put you in front and center, that would work.
Oh no. Okay, never mind. It's a whole fucking Chrome issue. Never mind. But Smarks can do it.
If my computer weren't shitty, I would. Like, literally, if I switch to a different tab, my computer goes all fucking nuts.
Wonky. We're using non-profanity, fuckstick.
If I told you one fucking time, I told you 1,000 fucking times. Don't fucking cuss on my fucking show.
Hour, you dick. Anyway, so that was probably, that felt like the fastest hour we've ever done.
It were pretty fast.
It was really enjoyable. Like that was
Who were the
an
people in this picture?
enjoyable set.
The Bearded Butchers.
Yes, sir.
Anyway. Yeah, that was a
Brock
pretty fast
says.
hour.
The Brock says. Eat
That
beef.
was a pretty fast round of that. So we will move on to our game that we play every week on this show.
Freaking
Ring of
time.
Honor, AEW, or Impact. This is the game where we start off with me challenging them, then they return the favor to where would they put each of these three current WWE wrestlers. And we sometimes flip it up and use Impact or whatever, but I'm going to actually stick with WWE this time.
Holy crap.
And the reason I am is because recently, we may have mentioned it earlier, there were some NXT call-ups that happened very suddenly. So suddenly that their NXT feuds weren't able to be finished.
Looking at you, Mandy Rose.
Even more suddenly that one of them had just re-debuted after an injury and showed up to start a feud with Candice LeRae, and then they pull her up to the main roster. So The challenge is the NXT call-ups: Toni Storm, Tegan Nox, and Shotzi Blackheart. Where would you put those? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Hey. So Tegan Nox,
Toni
Shotzi
Storm,
Blackheart, and
Shotzi
Toni
Blackheart.
Storm. Okay. So I would love me some Tegan Nox and AE Dubs. I think that would be fun. I'm also trying to remember certain matches between each woman. Okay, so Tegan Nox, AE Dubs, Shotzi Blackheart would go to Impact. And who's the other one again?
Toni Storm.
Toni Storm. Oh, but that sucks though. Poor Toni Storm. Toni Storm does not deserve that.
Well, the tough thing with Toni Storm is if you didn't watch NXT UK, which fucking nobody does,
Right.
Or the
Mae Young
Classics.
you really don't have a lot to go on. With
Or
Toni
you
Storm.
did, and it was so ages ago that you kind of forgot about them. Or is
True.
that just a me thing? Okay. Yeah. So that's
I
kind of
mean-
why I always was forgetting Toni Storm. Yeah. I'm sorry, Tony. You're going to ROH because you're not going to be beneficial to any other. Well, I mean, she has a strong fan base, though. No, we're
She
just kind of
does.
being
And,
hard
I mean,
on her.
she's-
Wee-hoo!
Yeah, wee-hoo. This is, you got a frog in your pocket?
You have no regard for the fact that I ain't fucking giving your answers. Get it? No regard. Get it?
Mhm. There you go.
That's well played.
Well, I got no regard, and but I do got some regard, so you can go now.
All right, so Toni Storm's going to AEW. Toni Storm would light up that division and would change the name of the game. Toni Storm is a game changer in any division. There's a reason AEW or WWE brought her up. She could be in a title run very quickly in WWE if they do things correctly with her. She's going to AEW and probably pretty quickly in a feud with Britt Baker or somebody for the title. Nyla Rose, take your pick. Shotzi Blackheart to Impact. And it's the high flyer, it's a little bit the character work. But it's mostly the overall high flyer, and she'd put on great matches with the Impact group. And Tegan Nox is going to be battling with Chelsea Green and the other Women of Honor. Is that what the division's called? Ring of Honor?
It was called. I think they're just changing it. I think the whole thing with it now is they're changing it to the Ring of Honor Women's Division.
Okay. And that division is getting really stacked really fucking fast. The primary reason I put Tegan on, because I am a huge Tegan mark, and I mean a huge Tegan mark. This is probably one of the few wrestlers that I probably turned Smarks on to more than he turned on to me.
Now, don't you talk about turning me on right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry, Sonny. Anyway, but I do think Tegan needs a less strenuous travel schedule because of her past injuries, and this is not dogging on her. But once you've blown an ACL, it can get dangerous pretty quick. And she's blown them 3 times. So she's blown one twice and one once. So it is not hard for her to cause some serious long-term damage to her knees. And I just don't want to see that happen. And so ROH, the lack of a travel schedule, I think is healthier for her.
She can still get injured.
I didn't say she couldn't. I said it reduces the risk of it.
She's not getting
Cool.
injured while going to a certain place. She's getting injured in the ring.
The wear and tear on your body from travel.
That's fair. No, that's a valid point. I understand that. But I'm just saying, 9 times out of 10, it's sure the traveling has a lot to do with it. But at the end of the day, any kind of bad fall, bad bump here and there, boom, you know. But
Well, the other two are better fits than the other two promotions.
Oh.
And if it was different wrestlers, then there's a very good chance I put Tegan Knox somewhere else.
Mhm.
But Toni Storm belongs in AEW. Like, she's that big. She would pop that division huge. She would be a bigger star than Britt Baker is.
Ooh,
Mark my words.
Is she a good talker?
Yeah, she can cut a good promo.
Okay.
She's got an accent, so that helps. But so does Tegan. So does Shotzi, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good on any of those. So, yeah. I don't think it's an insult to Tegan to put her in ROH because of how that division's being built.
Right.
Today, Chelsea Green announced she's going to ROH.
Mm-hmm.
The other day, she announced on a podcast that she was going to be watching ROH. Today, she announced she's joining ROH. So, I'm kind of sad that I don't get to watch that division as much because it's so difficult to watch. But
I'm surprised they
where
don't
I'm
have a
at.
YouTube thing.
I'm sure they do.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
they
they have a
look it up.
YouTube channel, but they just don't post any of the full shows on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't think they have a live stream on it. Yeah. So
Okay.
Yeah, but
that women's division could start drawing people over for fans. Like, that's how big Chelsea Green is. So
Well, Chelsea Green is a big get, though. That for sure is certainly going to help. And having Tegan there as well, that's going to be fire for ROH.
but that was
So,
fake. So
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Ring of Honor wants you to sign up for their Honor Club at $10 a month to stream their episodes if you don't have them on your regular TV. So,
Oh, that's kind of not that bad. $10.
no, you also get their entire historical video on demand
Library.
and all of their.
So you
pay-per-views.
can get Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson versus Claudio Castagnoli
I'm sure you could get that. Yes.
for the Ring of Honor Championship. Perhaps you could get Tyler Black versus Bryan Danielson.
You know we're not sponsored, right?
So can find that. Hey, if Honor Club wants to sponsor us, we will turn this into a Ring of Honor live stream
Podcast.
If-
Yeah.
if-
Oh, Jesus.
All Ring of Honor, all the time.
yeah.
Coming
I
to
am-
you live from Turks and Caicos.
I am not afraid to shill for Ring of Honor. That's fine by me, right? But no, $10 a month isn't. I mean, that's effectively what you were paying for the WWE Network. Now, yes, WWE Network got you more content because it was all of the WWE, all of the WCW, all of the ECW stuff.
I felt like I
Looked
knew
like
that scene
Abdullah
in
the Butcher
WCW.
there.
Captain,
Oh no!
computer, take me to the next room.
Now, see, you looked more like Abdullah the Butcher, who bladed himself so much. His fucking forehead looked like a.
You don't think
big
I'm
map.
Worf? I don't get to be Worf.
No.
Abdullah Butcher's forehead is so fucked. You're right.
Anyway, so who wants to go next? Challenge back.
I'll go next.
Okay.
Hey. Okay. So we are going to do WWE Female Legends. Okay. And these are your picks. Trish Stratus. Yeah, okay. Trish Stratus. Was she a WWE legend? No, I'm not talking about Trish. Okay, yeah. Trish Stratus. We'll go with Trish Stratus, Alita, and the Glamazon. Beth Phoenix. To
I guess I'll
ROH,
go
TNA,
first.
and AE dubs.
Okay, Fabe's gonna go first.
Obviously, all in their prime.
Yep.
God, if I don't catch flack for this, our listeners don't try hard enough.
There's no right answers for this, so we're gonna fucking get lit
But
up no matter what.
Beth
we do.
Phoenix
Well,
in her
I mean-
prime is the best of those wrestlers. And so Beth Phoenix is going to AEW. I think Lita could win the X Division title. And I think Impact is probably the most willing to do mixed bouts. So I think Lita could go there. And that means Trish Stratus to ROH. And I may catch flack from JLB for that. I think Smarks might actually agree with everything I said, but JLB might give me flack for putting Trish to ROH.
I mean, I wasn't really a huge Lita fan though, so I'd probably shit on your whole chest on that one.
God, you're turning me on.
So here's where I say the phrase that doesn't get said very often on this, but I agree with DA Fabe. I'm gonna get absolutely lit up for this, I guarantee you. But Trish Stratus is 100% a women's division legend. 100% deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
But you're sending
100% a diva.
She's 100% a diva. She would get ate alive by 90% of the women's wrestlers, even on the WWE roster today, let alone the ones on the Ring of Honor roster, the ones on the Impact roster, the ones on the AEW roster, right?
The Stratus faction was a step up bulldog.
Yeah.
Like it just, I don't know.
Yeah, it was effectively a tilt-a-whirl bulldog, not even a full tilt-a-whirl. 360 bulldog, where she would just step up and push off from the
middle turnbuckle
and bulldog them.
Wasn't Mickey James thing a splash though? You can't really.
A lot of them in that era, 100% in that era, a lot of them would not have a hard time standing against modern wrestlers. And Lita, I'm not even gonna rule out Lita on this. Lita, from the grand scheme of things,
today would hold a candle.
Would really, really struggle. The only thing Lita brought that Trish Stratus didn't bring was the desire to attempt high risk moves, and sometimes fail them miserably. But she was not
here's the
afraid
thing.
of it.
The Lita piece. Lita's finisher, Charlotte does on the regular just for the hell of it. Oh, not to the ring, to the floor. Charlotte does it.
Yeah.
She does a moonsault to the floor. Yeah. Just for the fuck of it. Just, I'm going to do a moonsault. And nobody's going to fucking catch me, so I could die.
Yeah. And so the only way I might differ from DA Fabe in this. So 100% Beth Phoenix in her prime would be the one to go to AEW. Because in her prime, Beth Phoenix was the most rounded of of those three wrestlers, period. The most capable, the most everything. And so she would fit in the best with the AEW roster. She would fit in the best with any of the rosters.
Yeah.
The only way I'm going to differ, and
I was really going to mess you guys up. I was going to say Stacy Keibler. Trish Stratus. Who the fuck was that other one?
Tori Wilson.
No, because Tori Wilson could kind of. There was another one.
She
not
could kind
Kayla.
of like. She could kind of like Trish could.
Okay. No, Trisha's better though.
So the only way I would differ is I think I'd put Trish in Impact and Lita in Ring of Honor for this reason and this reason alone. I trust the Impact women's roster better with not killing Trish Stratus.
A legend.
Whereas the Ring of Honor women's roster, they're fucking hardcore. They don't fuck around. And
That's legit.
and I think it might kill Trish Stratus. Whereas Lita still might die, but she might die anytime she gets in the ring anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of us, but all of us, remember at least one Lita Salt that she did not rotate quite far enough.
Well, and she also did. She interfered in the second TLC match.
She also did the Lita Kanrana, where there were times where she did not rotate enough on that either. So yeah. I mean, all of those there, but
Yeah.
like I said, I'm gonna get lit up for talking smack about Queen Trish, but in reality, if I'm gonna get lit up, I might as well go all the way, right? I might as well go all the way on this getting lit up. But in terms of in-ring capabilities, Trish Stratus in her prime would have had a hard time keeping up with the Bella Twins in their prime.
Ouch.
Bella Twins weren't
Ouch,
that
and I
bad,
can't deny
though.
that.
Yeah, that's the Bella Twins. The Bella Twins are the epitome of everything that was wrong with the Divas era in lots of ways. They were
Freaking
so much
flies in
about
this room.
looks. They were so much about sex appeal and all of that stuff. But in the end, their matches were not unwatchable. You know, you could watch them, and they would put on entertaining matches.
Clinics. They put on
Compared
clinics.
to the wrestlers nowadays, yes, they were all a disappointment. But at the time, they did elevate the women's division.
Right.
And Lita and Trish at the time elevated the women's division at the time. And there would not be a modern WWE women's division if it hadn't been for what Lita and Trish did in that time.
There really wouldn't.
There wouldn't be. So I'm not trying to dog them or whatever. But they came from a time when a woman's match on WWE was a Jell-O match in bra and panties, you know, or a wedding gown match where the whole goal was to tear off the wedding gown.
Not entirely, because there's one thing that helped put them over, and that is the likes of people like Ivory, who would hold their own.
Yeah.
And
But that's my point.
Molly.
They came along and they helped change the division away from the bra and panties matches, the wedding dress matches, and all that stuff, into matches that were actually putting on wrestling matches.
They also opened the door that Ivory and Molly could not open, and that is the television door, the televised door. Yeah. Vince needed people who had that level of charisma, and those two had stupid charisma.
And so they came after that era. The people that they had to wrestle, especially early on, the women they had to wrestle were not of the caliber of modern wrestlers. They didn't have a performance center that they could go and train at. In fact, at the time, before 2001, the only televised wrestling company that had their own training center was WCW with the Power Plant. WWE did not have a training center.
Warrior University.
So where would they train
Power
technically? Where would the wrestlers train technically?
they did their training at
Gold's
their own
Gym.
gyms, Gold's Gyms, Warrior University.
Okay,
A lot of wrestlers had, still had wherever they were trained originally, they would go back in that. So if you were trained by Killer Kowalski, you would take time out of your traveling to swing back to Killer Kowalski's gym to refresh stuff.
That's wild.
But
Okay.
but WWE at the time, the idea of having a developmental place, a place that you trained your next generation, wasn't something they thought about. They got all of their next generation superstars from
The indie circuit.
right? And so the Performance Institute is 100% WCW Power Plant 2.0. It was,
Yeah, in fact, it took them even longer than that because they they partnered with OVW for a very long time before they partnered with FCW and then bought FCW.
yeah. And so
Trent
the
NXT.
concept of, hey, let's have our own training facility was something that WCW did. WWE bought them, closed the power plant, but percolated in their minds for a while. That wasn't a bad idea. And it wasn't. A lot of the next generation stars in WCW came out of the power plant.
Guys like
where
Glacier.
Well, Glacier did, but Goldberg came out of the power plant. And so that's the sort of thing there that they did not have that pre-Trish and Lita, pre-NXT days. So the talent that Trish and Lita were wrestling against, especially early days, were not near the level of the talent that WWE has nowadays. Beth Phoenix came along a little bit later when the talent level had already risen up. And so for her to rise to the top, she had to be able to compete against more talented wrestlers, just to start with. And then, like I say, we give the Bella Twins a lot of crap for being all show and no talent, but they actually
No, but they do have talent. They weren't.
Yeah. I'm saying we as a internet wrestling
That's
community,
it.
I
Yeah.
give them
No,
a lot
I
of
get
crap.
that.
But I'm telling you,
In
you
their
go
prime, they were pretty badass, man.
Yeah.
Like, we remember
back
them when
to-
they came back.
yeah,
I think is the thing.
Pre Women's Revolution, pre 2015. Watch a Bella Twins match, and you will find yourself not saying this is horrible. You'll find yourself saying this isn't my favorite match of all time, but it's not bad.
Right.
You go back and watch Trish Stratus match from 2002, and you might find yourself saying this match was bad. This match was bad. So now again, do the Bella Twins hold a candle to the wrestlers that we have today? No, not at all.
Right.
Bella Twins aren't good enough to lace up Sasha Banks' boots, right?
Right.
But at the time, they were not as bad as we like to give them crap for. Now, Eva Marie was bad. Eva Marie was the epitome of all looks but no skill. And might still
She's
be.
still that.
Because,
Still that.
we haven't seen her really do anything yet.
Right.
Even though in her words, she's like 3-0. Because she
So you
doesn't-
think Dewdrop
she
is
doesn't
going to
have
be
that
doing
long.
something with Alyssa?
Alexa?
Alexa?
They teased it a bit there. I don't know if they're going to necessarily do that or if that was just one of their ways of building up the eventual
How the fuck did
fallout,
Nikki Cross win that match?
with a roll.
Mind-boggling. Okay.
Powerful roll.
Fair
Most
enough. Thank you.
Powerful move in all of sports entertainment.
Yep.
Anyway,
But so
No shame in getting beaten with a rolled up. No shame.
yeah, I 100% think I'm not sure if they're gonna do anything with Dewdrop and Alexa directly. I think that was probably more just them planting the seeds of a Dewdrop being unhappy with the way
Eva Marie
Avery
cheats her.
treats her.
this is the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's two different shows.
Yes.
That's very weird.
Somewhere out there, there's a
Star Trek
nerd that just had an aneurysm.
spazzed. He's on the ground now, shaking.
Not right. No.
This is the way. Some nerds freaking out right now. All right, my challenge. I'm gonna go dark for this.
No, you're not.
AEW Dark.
Yeah, I am. I had to go dark.
You might also go mute then. I'm kidding.
Oh, that's mean.
Okay,
That's
go with the
hilarious.
challenge.
Do it.
Okay, so I too am going to challenge for women. There has been a consistent thread throughout this show that we've mentioned, and so I'm just watching my mute to see if I get muted. We're going to use people who've done hardcore porn that are in WWE. So you get.
There's only
Mickey
two,
James.
no?
You get
Mickey James and hardcore porn?
You get Mickey James. I don't know. I've never seen it. You get Mickey James.
But she
you get-
didn't do hardcore porn at all. I don't think that's a thing. She did Playboy.
She was a cheerleader. I mean, I think. I don't know. I've heard stories about it. Anyway, Mickey James, Sonny, and we're gonna do somebody who did amateur stuff instead of China, which is also amateur stuff. There's actually like 5 or 6, just so you know. But we're gonna do a page. So separate eras there. So
So first off, in their prime, correct?
Jesus
in their
Christ.
wrestling prime, not in their porn prime. In their wrestling prime.
You made your jump to the porn thing. I was just saying in their prime.
I just, because Tammy Lynn's been such a big piece to this. I think Dawn Marie also did, and she was in WWE at one point. I think there's several who've done actual hardcore stuff. So, well, there's
Okay,
a gal
so she
who
only
actually
posts
owns
nude.
a website for this. Who?
Mickey James. She only posed nude.
Bullshit. Throwing the flag. Not that I've seen it or anything, but I've seen it.
It was a fake Mickey James then. You got fooled.
Yeah, you're gonna have to check Pornhub, bud. Anyway, moving forward.
Jesus
Hashtag still
Christ.
not sponsored.
So I'll go ahead and go first here because in reality, it's
We're using the wrestling prime, which means Paige is going to AEW.
Yeah, it's a little easier because Paige goes to AEW because of the 3 options, she was by far the best, like, wrestling in her prime, and that's not saying that Mickey James wasn't great because she was, but Paige was phenomenal. So Paige to AEW, Mickey James in her prime to Impact, I guess.
Back to Impact.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not coming back on screen because I'm so embarrassed that I did that.
Oh, I figured. Yeah.
Oh, shame. Poor shame.
And then that puts Sunny in Ring of Honor, where she'll be fucking
Honor. You said
destroyed.
honor.
Where she'll get fucking destroyed, but that's all I got.
JLB's too busy watching a Mickey James porn right
No,
now.
it was literally just a photo shoot, though. So that's.
I will send you links later if you need.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's
prove
but
my
it's
point.
definitely not. It's
Those
definitely
links will
hers,
not
though.
be in the doobly-doos, just so everybody knows.
Okay, so Mickey, Sonny, and who?
Paige.
Paige. I'll switch it up. I'll go with Mickey James to AEW. Mickey, I think, would still kind of like. I don't remember Paige being like a overly phenomenal wrestler, but still being pretty decent. So I think she would still do good in Impact. And maybe it might suit her more with her gothic look and whatever, unless they completely change her character. So that would mean Miss Tammy Lynn Sitch can go to ROH and she can still keep doing her porno OnlyFans because ROH might not necessarily care all that much. So that's what I'm going to go with. So Mickey A-Dubs, Paige Impact, Sunny, and ROH, where it won't be sunny days for the rest of her career.
So here's where I go out of my way to out my pre-married knowledge. There's a website called nudography.com. And I wasn't even sure it still existed, but it does. And their whole thing is cataloging when famous people have been nude, or if those nudes are fakes. And then you can be a member there and view that or all that stuff. So according to nudography.com, Nikki James has been naked in photo shoots. Some of them were by paparazzi and some of them were like actual photo shoots. But she has never been in a porn video, but there are numerous 25 fake Mickey James porns out there.
Told ya.
Oh,
So
I feel violated by myself.
Oh, you feel violated.
you were violating.
You were.
yourself.
Well, then I think we have to change that up, don't we? I mean,
Oh, Jesus. This guy wants to keep going with this.
do we have to change
his
Mickey James up
demeaning-
for Lisa Marie Verone?
I mean, if you really want to. I don't think my answers change, frankly.
Yeah.
Did
I mean, my Paige would go for me. Paige then would go to AEW then. For sure.
and Lisa Marie Verone, who is a dark character, she's been on Impact before, and plays a really good psycho dark person. So she was in Impact known as Tara, and you guys probably remember her as Victoria in WWE.
Right.
Yeah,
I remember
I did
Victoria being pretty badass though. So no,
Yeah,
I'd still
she was
put
awesome.
Paige.
She was
Yeah.
awesome, but my answer's still the same. Paige to AEW. Whoever is next to Impact, and Sunny to Ring of Honor.
What if it was China? Never mind. We're not going to keep doing this. Sad that I know these.
The answers are still exactly the same. Paige to AEW.
China becomes Impact World Champion.
Because here's the deal. Well, and on top of it, no, to use the phrase the young'uns use, no cap here. I would have absolutely loved to have seen a in her prime China versus current Jordan Grace.
Yeah, no joke.
And I would like to also point out that I just said, as the young'uns say, I'm fucking old.
You are old, yes.
But you're still younger than Sunny, so that means you could have an OnlyFans page if you wanted.
Believe you me, my budget has made me think about it once or twice. So.
Only feet pictures.
Oh Jesus.
No. If there's one thing that's uglier than this mug on me, it's my feet. I had multiple surgeries on a toe when I was a kid, and it's pretty mangled. So,
Oof. Golly.
And that's where we end, folks.
I am gonna go bleach my eyeballs now because I should not have, and my mouth for being a potty mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know about nudography. That is actually an interesting kind of. At least it keeps track of everybody and what's fake and what's not. And I'm glad I was able to prove Fabe wrong. Yep.
yeah, I am glad that I was able to share my bachelor knowledge with you.
Didn't even know it still worked. It's in my favorites list, but
No, I just remembered the website because remember, I'm Gen X. We had to remember shit when I was growing up, like
That's
phone
true.
numbers. I had to remember multiple phone numbers.
Can you remember them now, though?
Yes, I can still remember
Some of
my
them.
home phone number. I can still remember my dad's work phone number. My mom's phone number changed multiple times, so I don't remember that anymore.
Okay.
And
yeah, I still remember my home phone and some of my friends' home phones,
I
all of
actually,
which are no longer in use.
yeah, I legitimately can't say like my home phone number growing up because it literally is like the passcode to my car and shit like that because it's something that I just know offhand. And so I'm like, yep, put that in. That's my passcode there. So
There you
So
have
if you
it.
knew me when I was a kid, you can steal my card. That's,
Hey.
I guess, the lesson.
Good lord. I'm so embarrassed that I just did that, but I felt it was the only way to end this episode.
It was
Wow.
the only.
That was the
fans
only
to end
way-
this episode.
This is the way.
May the force be with you. I can't do it. I can't even do it. I'm just this pinky's like, I can't reach.
You should do this one,
I'm not looking
and
at
then
the
you say
screen.
nanu nanu.
Nanu.
Yeah, I can never do it. I can never. No. Hello.
This, and then this, and then West Side.
Oh yeah, West Side I could do no problem.
Midwest.
Yeah. Midwest.
Anyways, that
East
is
Side?
enough for this show. I think this show needs to go in the books now. So we are going to we are going to close the books on the Fantasy Booking Institute.
and burn it.
Maybe burn it. Yes. Maybe this one. Maybe this one doesn't get posted as an audio episode. It will. But we're going to close the books, but I always like to say make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. Subscribing and sharing are the easiest ways to support this podcast. So letting your friends know that you like it, subscribing to it so you get notified, all of that stuff, liking the Facebook page, liking or following or subscribing on the YouTube page, liking the video, giving it that thumbs up. Those things all help us out in great ways there. Following us on social media is a great way to do that. All of the links are going to be in the doobly-doos for all of that. You can follow me at Raw and Order WBU. It's over here, right there. You can follow DA Fabe at
DA Vincent K. Fabe. I'm not showing my face. I'm not showing my face anymore.
You know they saw
today.
it earlier, right? They saw it
it
earlier.
was available before.
They know what
They
you
can
look
just
like.
rewind.
For shame! Shame!
They will now at you, no problem.
And you can follow JLB at
JLB420. Real Talk Radio, though, is the brand at Real Talk Radio 8. We are still kicking it with some Dark Side reviews for Dark Side of the Ring. My friend had to take a little break, so apologies for that. But yeah, we're still doing that. And whatever, what do you have to do? We have to wait till September for the new ones. So if you're into Dark Side, and I don't know, you want to hear us talk about what we thought of it, by all means. That Grizzly Smith one is out. And we're going to go watch Dynamite Kid and do that. And anchor.fm/RTR is, of course, where you can find it all on your various platforms, the Spotify's, the Apples, the Stitchers, whatever floats your boat, we got it there. And that's it. Back to you, good sir.
okay.
So, wait, so here's the really cool part about JLB's Dark Side reviews. Is if it only took up half the time that you need to listen, like that you're just like, I'm down for 2 hours, not 1 hour. Go watch the Dark Side of the Ring, and JLB will take up the rest, and then you can listen to the last half hour of JLB's another
So
time.
just goes to show you how much you don't listen to my episodes anymore, because now they're down to like 45 minutes. So pretty much an episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So they match
Dick.
up with Darkseid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you might as
Yeah.
well just do them as watch-alongs.
My friend doesn't watch them live, so not really possible.
Just saying.
Unfortunately. I know.
Oh,
Well, maybe
make
if
sure-
Fabe wanted to do a watch along, we can do that instead of looking at Mickey James fake porno. You know, he could look at Dark Side of the Ring. Jesus Christ. For all we know, he probably was doing it.
That's why he shut his camera off.
Oh shit!
Got the lube out.
Make sure
Sonny's
to check
finest
all of the
lube.
links in the doobly doo. That's going to be our Patreon, our merch store, our socials, all of that stuff. You can just click that to support
Our
us.
social.
Our social, all of that stuff. So check the doobly doos. It's going to be on the show notes for the podcast as well. But that's going to be a great way to support us there. And before we leave, we just need to check in one last time with our special guest, Hugh Consimi. What's going on, Hugh? Did you like DA Fabe's thing?
Sunny days are ahead.
Yeah, nope. He still doesn't want to join us. So I think you embarrassed Hugh. Can't see me. But on that note,
He I don't think has done any porn. So
I didn't like Sunny, and I didn't like the moon. I hope to God this Raw and Order episode ends soon.
well, it does. We are going to go ahead and close the book. Thank you all for listening. We will see you soon.
And of course,